Hello. Hi, Kira. Stop promote my event. Mm. Okay, we're going to get started with our week 6 lecture on FigJam and Figma Community. Thank you all for coming, even though there's not a lot of us here. It's okay. Here's our agenda for today. So we're gonna do a quick midterm check-in to see where everyone's at. We're gonna talk about FigJam, Figma Community, and then finding design inspiration. Here is the slide deck link. Oh wait, here's the attendance link if you need it. Also, while you're typing that in, I just want to quickly promote a design event that's happening on Saturday that I'm hosting for another club. But it's called RGB, Reach, Grow, Build, and it's basically we invite industry professionals from different creative careers, and then they kind of give a keynote speech about what they're doing and advice for people that want to pursue different creative careers. So it's from 10 to 3 in this building, Jacobs 310. And if you want to learn more, you should go to NOD at Cal, the Instagram. It's with Innovative Design, the club, but yeah, it's gonna be really cool. Lots of interesting people speaking. So I would recommend you go if you want to learn more about design and stuff. But thank you for letting me do that spiel. Does anyone need the attendance still? Okay. Here's the slide deck link, as usual. And then, yeah, so if you haven't heard, hopefully you have, but the midterm has started. So basically you have choice of a few different prompts. And then hopefully you also talked about it in your lab sections, but yeah, we're gonna do hold up a 1, 2, or 3 with your fingers. Hold up 1 if you've chosen your prompt and that's it. Hold up 2 if you've already started brainstorming what you're gonna do, and then hold up 3 if you've already started designing. It's okay, all numbers are welcome. Oh, okay. 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 A good distribution. It's okay. You still have a good amount of time, but yeah, I'd recommend not getting behind. Don't cram. But any questions about the midterm? Yeah. Yeah, you're not gonna don't actually approach the restaurant or anything. Yeah, so it's just what you notice in their designs or what you would want to change and stuff like that. Okay. Any other questions? All right. So we will dive right into talking about FigJam, which is basically there's 2 types of files in Figma. There's Figma design files, and then there's also FigJam files. And FigJam is basically brainstorming and collaboration. Yeah, so it's a big playground whiteboard thing that's really focused on collaboration and interaction with other people in the file. Like Figma, FigJam is vector-based still, and it incorporates more tools to allow for better live brainstorming and diagramming within a team. So if you open up a FigJam file, also on your homepage, if you go to the top, you'll see design file or FigJam board on the top here. So if you open up FigJam file, you'll see your workspace, and then there's similarly a top toolbar and a bottom toolbar that's kind of floating. And you'll notice there's no layers, assets, design, or prototype panels. So it's really, really simplified, and all the tools you need are just housed in mostly the bottom toolbar. And there's a lot less things that you can change, but with that it becomes simpler and more straightforward for like the brainstorming aspect of what you want to accomplish with a FigJam file. So your top toolbar, you will have like the timer and like different templates and comments. And then on the right side, you have like who's actively on the file, and then also like the share features. And then on the bottom right, there's also like a zoom scale that you can like zoom in, zoom out of. You can also just use like your trackpad. But yeah. And then on your bottom toolbar, it has like all the tools that you'll need for FigJam are all here. So you'll see like the move cursor, which is like the default, and then the pan like hand tool that basically just like grabs and like you can move around in it, but I think it's easier to just like scroll. You have like your marker, so you can just like doodle, and then you have sticky notes, which is like you can just like exactly what it sounds like, just place it down somewhere and then type something really quickly. Different shapes, connectors. You have your text tool, different sections. You can like block off a whole section for like, this is like, you know, round 1 of brainstorming, and round 2. There's different like stamps and emote, like things you can just quickly put on there. And then there's a bunch of other like plugins and stickers and stuff you can use on like the right side. So the marker tool in FigJam is very similar to Figma's pencil tool, where it's kind of just like doodling freeform. You can use it to like draw like these little doodles or like annotate something. And this tool automatically smooths out any lines as well. So you can't edit nodes on any of the lines drawn with the marker tool. That's like where it differs from Figma's pencil tool, but you can adjust like the color and the stroke size. And the shortcut for this is M. Also, you notice like when you select the marker on like your bottom toolbar, you'll see all these different settings pop up, and you can even switch to like a highlighter or like a tape roll or an eraser, and then change like the color and the stroke. There's also the shape tool. So you have like this selection of different shapes that you can choose from, and you can just kind of like drag them out from the bottom toolbar onto your like workspace. And then once you create that, you can change like the fill of the color and then the outline, which we will show right here. Yeah, so you can change the color of any shape. You can basically choose from these like presets or like make your own color with the wheel. And then you can also have it be like filled or transparent or no fill. So you can choose like between 3 different, you know, opacities basically. And then you can also change the outline really easily. So there's like solid, dashed, and no fill. Pretty self-explanatory. Also, if you put down any shape, you can add text to it. So if you double click on it, you'll see like the add text pop up, and then the text settings are much more simplified than a regular design file. So instead of like having to change the number of font size, you basically have like small, medium, large, and extra large, which just like is easier for your brain to like quickly do. And then there's also like bolding, strike throughs, embedding links, and making bullet lists. Also alignment too. So it's like slightly more limited, but for like the purpose of FigJam, it's a lot easier. There's also these things called connectors. It might look a little different than this picture. We didn't update it, but basically when you like are making a brainstorm flow or stuff like that, you can just quickly put down some like arrows to show like, you know, the different flows and diagrams. So these are called connectors. There's an elbow connector, which is just like curved, and then a straight line connector. You can use these to like annotate or call attention to specific parts of the file as well. And the shortcut for this is X. So here's an example of like making a connection. You can like drag from different nodes of a shape and then kind of drag an arrow to another shape. It looks similar to prototyping, but it's not like any animation. It's just for like the visual aspect. Yeah, you can also like create a new shape, just making a connector from a shape. So that's very cool. Yeah, they're really helpful for just like diagramming and visual mapping. You can also adjust the connectors. So elbow connectors can be adjusted just by selecting and dragging like path handles and nodes. You'll see them pop up when you have it selected. And then you can also like cross them to create looped connectors. And then straight lines can be converted into elbow connectors if you just drag the nodes around, and vice versa. But yeah. So the FigJam library is used to access like different stickers, templates, widgets, plugins, and more that Figma houses. And stickers are created by the Figma team for decoration and to just like spice up your file a bit, make things more fun, more friendly. You can also import code blocks, a timer, and a lot of other cool features. There's also like a camera, so you can like put a camera in there, and then if you push a button, it'll like print a little Polaroid of whatever is in your camera. So that's really fun. Yeah, you can also find different templates on the top toolbar. So these are like community created, and there's like a lot that are made by Figma, but I think people also make their own templates. And it helps you kind of like get started with FigJam. Like if you're having a brainstorming session, then you have like different templates that can just like put down sections and words and stuff that'll help you get started with that, or other things, team meetings, icebreaker games, stuff like that. There's also an image tool, so you can insert your own images into a FigJam file. These are like, can be directly pasted, just like Command or Control C and V. And then once they're inserted, you can like easily crop them or change like the mask of the image just by like, clicking on it, which is like a lot faster than having to make a mask in a design file. But they don't always scale proportionally, so be mindful of that. But you can hold like shift to keep proportions and stuff. You also have your stamp and emote button. This is for like quick feedback, or if you want to like quickly like something, you can just like select the stamp tool and then like toggle to any of the other stamps or pictures, and then just like paste that onto your file really quickly. Yeah, the emote button looks very cool. Yeah, the shortcut for these are E, and the stamps remain in the file as you see, but emotes are just temporary. So there is a combination of stickers, stamps, and emotes, and it all just shows like the versatility of how you can use FigJam. So it really spices up the file, makes it more fun, and I think it overall, like psychologically, it's like a lot more approachable and easier to like collaborate using these like simple, very quick tools. There's also the timer tool. It's on your top right, I believe. And if you have like, oh, we're gonna like brainstorm on this idea for 5 minutes, you can quickly do that. Sometimes you can like even like play music during the timer or stuff like that. Add a minute quickly, pause it. Yeah. Very user friendly. And also is like everyone who's in the file sees the timer. So it's useful if you're like not together and stuff, but there's also this like fun little high five tool. So if you hold down H, you can like have a hand pop up as your cursor, and then like if you go close to another person's hand cursor, then they like do a little high five animation. It's really cute. All that positive reinforcement. Yeah. Also, cursor chat. It's like a really also fun addition to collaboration. So like anywhere you have your cursor at any time, you can just like click the right slash key like next to your shift button, and then it'll pop up. You can just like quickly type, and then it'll like remain on your cursor wherever you go for like a few seconds. I'll show you like here. If I have, if I hit slash, you can say like hello, and then like it'll remain on my cursor if I go over here, and then it kind of like fades away after a while, just like that. But yeah, it's a fun way to like quickly respond or quickly give feedback, like if someone's doing something, and you can just type like, oh, this is really cute, I love it, blah blah blah. Yeah, so working like between FigJam and Figma like design files is really simple too. So many objects can be just like easily copy and pasted between the two. And they will retain their similar properties, which is very useful. Some FigJam objects, when copied over into Figma, will be treated as special objects. And these are things like sticky notes, connectors, and shapes, which aren't naturally in a design file. And in this, you'll see like the special objects are transferred, have their own icons and functions in the like layers panel. So now we will do a little demo. If you would like, please type this in at the bottom. It's a bit.ly/figjam-demo. It's someone else's like community file, but we're just gonna like open it and make a copy. And it should look something like this. Sorry, I will go back to this though. Down here. It should open you up to a page. Oh yeah. It'll look like this, and then you can like open in FigJam, and it'll take you back to Figma. And then I'm pretty sure you don't have to make a, like when you open it, it'll be your own file, but you can also duplicate it if you'd like. But yeah. So we'll just walk through this together. It's just kind of going over the basic tools and stuff. So yeah. First thing, you have your sticky notes. So it's at the bottom here. If you click on it, you can change the color. You'll see like 9 different options. And then while you have this like sticky note tool selected, you can place it down on any spot in your file. And then it makes a sticky note with your name, and then you can type something. And then like you can even just move that sticky note around or change like the dimensions of it. Yeah. Please try it out. The shortcut is S for sticky notes. And then next we have connectors. So they're a perfect way for linking related stuff together. These arrows will stay connected even when you move other objects around. So if we have like a sticky note here and here and here, you can make a connection from this to this, this to this. And while I have like the connections and the sticky notes, I can like move the sticky note and you'll see like the arrow sticks to it. So it'll stay wherever you move it, or you can select everything, move the whole flow. So those are connectors. And then unfortunately, we're not like all in the same file together, but if we were, then we could all see each other's cursor chats. But if you just hit slash, then you'll be able to type quickly and just like have a little message toggling onto your cursor the whole time. And next we have like the stamps and the emotes. So if you go to like your stamp button, which is E, you can like choose any of these fun stamps, I think. And then just paste them down into your file. Like, oh, I love that picture. I'm gonna heart it. Yay. And then also try out the emotes. So you'll see if you just like hold it down, your cursor just like throws these emojis everywhere. Okay. Next we have like the widgets and stickers. So you'll see like if you click on the right side of your bottom toolbar, this whole page pops up: stickers, templates, widgets, plugins, more. If you go to widgets, hopefully you'll see like this camera photo booth thing. If you drag it out, you can like take a picture. Oh. Yay. And then it prints out like a little Polaroid. You can move it around. Very cute. It's cool, right? Okay. There's also some other stuff, but This is like the coolest one in my opinion. Yeah, more stuff to explore here, so check this out for more stuff. Oh, let's see the stickers actually. Ooh. Oh, wait, these are so cute. Okay. Oh, you can even like edit this? You can even edit this. Wow. Okay. That's that's also really cool. So I'm just discovering this now. Yeah, and then lastly, just like in general, you can copy and paste things from a design file into your FigJam file. So if like people are working on, you know, a project like an app or something, or like if two people were working on your midterm project and you're working in a design file, then you could like copy and paste like one of your frames in here and just be like, oh, like I need feedback on this, or can we brainstorm like a solution for this problem I have? Then you could easily do that. Like if I have this frame, I copy this frame, I can paste it in here, and then be like, what do we think? Like, how does it look? And then people could go in like with like stamps, be like, oh, love it. Or like, so cool. Stuff like that. You get the idea, right? But yeah, that is navigating a FigJam file. You can play around with more of that if you'd like. But we'll move on to some FigJam use cases with Christopher.
Thank you, Katy. Okay. So let's talk about what we might use FigJam for. So what we just saw, FigJam is very simple yet very versatile. You can use it for a bunch of different purposes, like brainstorming. Diagrams are a pretty popular use case, and for just like running workshops. So here's a few templates to get y'all started. So diagramming. It's one of the key functions of FigJam. Fun fact, used FigJam for my 151 CPU architecture project. So, I mean, that was pretty cool. It was pretty easy. So yeah, make shapes. You can drag connections between them. Pretty simple. Yeah, there's also a lot of community templates, which we'll also go over, that can just like sort of get you started into like various ways to categorize and create like hierarchy of information. User personas. So you can like synthesize your research information and come up with user personas in FigJam. Sticky notes are another core feature of FigJam. And it's pretty easy to just like paste down a bunch of your notes and then group them together and sort of synthesize right from there. Also, fun. FigJam is fun. Here's a Haiku composer template that you can copy if you're interested. Also, you could use it to whiteboard. Here's a user that, has a bunch of mixed media. They have photos, they have sticky notes, they have arrows, they have drawings. Just go crazy with it. Have some fun. So that was FigJam. Now we want to move on to Figma Community, which is a space for all users to discover resources. So these are where creators can come and post their own design files for other people to use. This is where you can go to find inspiration, see what other people are doing. Figma wants to make design accessible for everyone. And so community is included in this vision. And so here you can find like UI kits, wireframes, templates we just talked about, and there's so many different things. Games are on there. I'll look at that with y'all in a second. So yeah, we just talked about some of these. So community files are user created, publicly available files that you can inspect for yourself, duplicate them. And it saves me a lot of time personally if I'm coming up with an app. Maybe someone has already made sort of an app structure. Boom, I can just take it if it's free and incorporate that into my own design. Of course, you want to cite where you got your stuff. You can't just take stuff willy-nilly. you know, always cite your sources. Also important in design. Plugins are very cool. As a developer myself, I've looked into like how to develop a plugin for Figma. So these are just like features that you can download and to make the Figma experience better, different, have more functionality. When you install a plugin, you can access it directly within Figma or FigJam. One plugin I recently used was like a confetti plugin that all it did was it took a frame and it just filled it with like differently rotated, differently colored rectangles. And it like made, confetti on the page. So that was cool. Also, prototypes are a type of file that you can publish and duplicate, but you can't like directly interact and like, you can interact, but you can't like edit it like a normal file. This is like a slide deck, for example, would fall into this category. And so finding community. So this, I believe, is outdated. It says find it in the right-hand panel. If we go home here, community is at the bottom left for me. But we're going to look at what we can do on community. So let's boot it up. Let's go ahead, launch community. We're greeted with this page. And this is totally out of whack. That's okay. I'll just talk about this. So here you can have some various filters. So if you were interested in design systems, Figma can give you the option to just filter by design systems. I can see here's an app for sleep tracking. Someone created and prototyped an entire design system for this type of aesthetic and app. This person also did a water tracking app. And if I click on this person, I can see they have a crazy amount of apps they've all published. Wow. Yeah, so just on this page, you can see like recently, yeah, it wasn't working. You can see stuff that's new, top rated stuff by the community. You can filter again by plugins, you can filter by creators you're following. Like you can filter out stuff that isn't paid for. And yeah, I just want to take a moment. Awesome effect, by the way. I really appreciate this. Oh, and that didn't even copy over. That's awesome. Like I can zoom in right here. Boom, there it is. Not actually on the frame, pretending to be. So this is an example resource page. So I'm actually just going to pull up this university syllabus in Figma right here and type it in. Right there, boom. And here it is. So I can open it in Figma. I can heart it. I can save it. I see who it's by right here. It's by Figma for Education. So this is by the official Figma team. 774 people use it. It's gotten 38 likes. If I scroll down, I can actually see an inline preview, which is pretty cool, of the design file. And I can zoom in here and see what's going on. Here's some tags. Related content by the user. Some comments. That's what's up. Oh, and now it's here? No. Also, there's creator profiles. So you can create a custom profile and be a Figma creator. You can claim a public handle and showcase the resources that you publish, perhaps what you create during this class. But you can do everything without sort of a creator profile. So, but you will need one to publish, like, follow, and comment on other resources. But duplicating files and installing plugins do not require a public profile. So what should you be using community for? Inspiration for sure. Again, if you're going to create an app, A lot of people have created apps before you, and you can always take a peek, see what good practices are. Look at the industry standard. You can pick up on design trends, filter by more recent app files, and you can see sort of where the designs are headed, what practices people are following. Again, also will click in your workflow if you're able to just jump off of that template. And yeah, I personally really follow the UI library sort of pattern where people will just publish like a bunch of SVG icons, and I can just like copy the design file. And so I just have it locally, and I can just like copy and paste from the icon page into like my own app or whatever I use it for. So it's demo time. Not really a demo. We're gonna do an activity. We're all gonna explore community together. But I'm just gonna show y'all some pages I really like. So like when variables came out, this was a really big deal. You can actually make a playable functional game in Figma with logic and oh, I'm awesome. This looks a bit broken now, but this is really impressive. Like Figma could not do this at all before. Or if you could, you have to like abstract away a bunch of logic, you're not really doing the game dev stuff. You're pretending on a bunch of different levels. But this variable just made it so easy. And I wish I could find it, but people actually made like CPUs in Figma where you can actually like execute programs on them within Figma. Blew my mind. Absolutely blew my mind. But for the next 10 minutes or so, please look through community, find some resources you all want to use for your own design practice. Your midterm, maybe. This might be a good chance to look at resources for your midterm. And yeah, Katy and I will float around the room, and we'll regroup at 6. The admin.
This is not my day list. Oh. Any music requests? Okay. I guess we're gonna have to listen to. I just keep playing it. Okay, it's kind of fire. Kind of sad though.
It's kind of melon.
Okay, okay.
Dude, classic.
Which one?
I love video games.
This one or this one?
Stupid shit. Look up Animal Crossing.
Oh my god, wait, I always listen to Animal Crossing lo-fi. I don't know why I said music. Like, this is a music app. Soft rain.
How do we do? What did we find? I saw some pretty cool stuff. Some restaurant delivery apps, some 3D icons. Personally love the 3D design. Thank you to all the artists who published their assets for me to use. But yeah, let's look at some other cool community examples. Here's a brand style guide. Oh. Component-based framework. Can open it in Figma. Has some steps to get started. A mood board to get you going. Wow. This is very cool. Some font pairing guide. I definitely need some help in this realm. Business card ideas. Great. All cool stuff. Some posters. Some avatars. So one of the cool things about community is I like looking at the comments when there are comments. So I thought this avatar design kit was pretty cool. So we can like look at the library, you can see, choose the colors, and you can just build an avatar. And so other people that thought it was cool, built off of that. So this person was like, oh, yo, I made a website where you can just like do it on the website and then export it. This actual avatar library picked it up and was like, we think this design is cool. So this is in our library. And if you're, CS person like me, you can see how I might like include this library now. Now I discovered this avatar library just by like, looking at this avatar Figma file. And now I can see, how I would include this in like my HTML project. It's very cool. Love going down rabbit holes. Saw some mock-ups earlier. Design systems with icons. Here's a user research FigJam template. Can play Catan. This one's pretty fun. Zelda Maker. Resume. Tetris in Figma. A lot of cool stuff. A lot of cool stuff. Community, very great place to play around. Oh yeah. Yeah. I definitely think, I don't know if I've seen any person, but I think that's a great place to do it. So then you can just like share a link to your design file for people to look at. Okay, yeah. Any other questions before we move on about FigJam, community stuff? Okay. So finding inspiration. How do you get inspired? It can all be so overwhelming. We saw Figma community, a lot of files going on. One person had millions of different app ideas, all sort of with a similar aesthetic. Which one's right for you? How can you also do something like that? Let's talk about it. So again, learning from your peers is a great resource. See what other people are doing. See what other people in the industry are doing. How can you sort of get your feet wet, maybe emulate it, copy it, until you can have some confidence and sort of put your own spin on this. And here's a bunch of community resources other than Figma community to look at. There's Dribble, Pinterest is great. Love Pinterest. Musely, Motionographer. Very great resources. Please check them out. It's everywhere. It's not only online. It's in the world around you. Fashion, architecture, package design, I think is pretty slept on. I think we do have a club though at Berkeley. For package design. I think I saw, see, slept on. I think there is a package design club. Maybe I'm wrong. I don't know. I think it's pretty cool. But yeah, mentioned this just a second ago. Inspiration is not copying. Always give credit where credit is due, especially if you're publicly sharing it. If you plan to make money off of it and you're using someone else's assets, then you run into some complications. Make sure you check the licensing of their work. Depending on what kind of license you're able to use it, and then use it in like a business manner. Otherwise, you cannot do anything with it. But yeah, please combine multiple sources of inspiration. You're not limited to one person's aesthetic to emulate, you know. And yeah, please add your own twist, discover your own style. Please grow as a designer, you know. How do you organize your inspiration? Documentation is great, but maybe you want a place to save any inspiration you come across. Some people have photo albums. Maybe you throw everything into a Figma file. I know one of my friends actually takes all their notes in Figma. I don't know if I would do that. I don't know. I'm not going to say anything about it, but Arena is a pretty cool website. Shout out Arena. This is sort of like a saving websites. So sort of like digital scrapbooking, I guess. But it's what I use. There's a convenient browser extension. If I stumble upon a website I really like, I can like save it in my collection. I guess it's like Pinterest-esque. So if you're going to mood board, be clear about the project goal. Start with keywords. What is the purpose? What do I want to convey? And how can you explore new ideas and ideate rapidly and broadly before diving in and settling in something? Any questions? Inspiration. Does anyone want to share a tool they use to find inspiration? No? That's okay. I'm going to shout out Arena one more time because this is what I use. It's free for up to 200 total blocks. I also like that it's mixed media. So not only can you just like sort of embed websites into your collections, but you can like upload pictures or just like write down quick notes. You can also follow other people's collections. And other people have really cool collections of websites they've found. And you can sort of integrate those collections within your own collection. So it's sort of like a recursively expanding mood board. I think it's cool. No more questions. That's it. Let's wrap up. Please work on your midterm this week. Work on your midterm. Feel free to reach out to Katy and I over Slack if you have any questions. But yeah, I hope we all jump off into our projects with some knowledge from what we've learned today with Figma Community, especially. We do expect, however, you know, your multiple lo-fi, mid-fi, hi-fi mockups. So you cannot just cut corners and copy someone else's app as your lo-fi, but we do want you to sort of block out the lo-fi, the mid-fi, and then there's a lot of hi-fis already out there, but maybe this is a good place to just take inspiration, see how people organize their app. Yeah. Yeah. So that's saying we want to see your app take at least like 3 to 4 screens, or like with the functionality. It can totally be more, but we want to see at least that much. And we want to see how you transformed these screens from lo-fi to mid-fi to hi-fi. Mm. Lab 6 is our midterm critique. So please have a working, maybe just your lo-fi, if you're really packed this week, but try to have something by lab next week so you can talk about it with your peers. Get some feedback, practice your critique skills. Yeah, exciting stuff. Secret word, oh man, on the spot. Flappy Bird. Flappy Bird, that's 2 words. It's actually the same every week. So, feel free to bookmark this link. But yeah, thank you all so much for coming. Have a great rest of your week. Woo.